I'm telling you, if you had Jacksonville yesterday, if you happen to be a religious person, you ought to go to church today and say your prayers. Easy Jaguars win and cover last night. Am I right? Well, listen, I gave you Jacksonville here yesterday as a complimentary play. I told you my best bet yesterday in terms of the free selections happened to be San Francisco. So a 2-0 sweep with the NFL complimentary plays. Split in basketball. My best bet happened to be Providence, and they covered at Creighton. Lost the free play with Syracuse. But my God, 3 out of 4, what more can you possibly want? And here for Sunday, I'm going to give you a breakdown and a free selection on the game between Buffalo and Miami. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here. Quick reminder, you see the little button down there in the corner. Make sure you click on it and subscribe so you can always be alerted when I've got my next video report. Again, it's right down there in the corner. Hit the subscribe button now. I've got to tell you, yesterday, as I said, my best bet happened to be in college basketball. And my feelings were this, I used a game that went off at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Naturally, you always have a little buyer's remorse when you see your NFL complimentary plays come through and you're sitting there and your game tips off at 11 o'clock. And had a customer write into customer service yesterday and say, after the fact, the email came in this morning, how did you come up with Boise State as another raise the bar 20-dime release? Yeah, it's not like I've been to Idaho. It's not like I have any idea about Boise State. I've been to 38 states, never been to Idaho, never been to Wyoming either. And I went against the Cowboys yesterday. And just real quickly, I just want to tell you something. Guys, it all comes down to research in this business. And this is what I do. I do this 365 days a year. And the genesis of that play, very quickly, how I came up with Boise State, a 4.5-point road favorite, winning easily by 17 points at Wyoming. I happened to be researching Utah State. Yeah, another team that I've never seen play in person or on TV this year. I happened to be researching Utah State's game at Nevada a couple of nights ago, and I happened to see that Utah State had blown out Wyoming in its previous game, and that Wyoming had only 8 scholarship players available for that game, and they were down to 6 by the end of the game because they had so many injuries. And it's something that you file away as a handicapper and as a gambler, and you go, let me look at the next time Wyoming is playing. And as I handicapped all the games yesterday, the last game on the board happened to be Boise and Wyoming. And I thought, let me dig deeper. So you go to the newspaper in Casper, and you go to the newspaper in Laramie, and you see, hey, Wyoming, preseason player of the year, not playing yet this season. Wyoming, 2 starters, 1 key reserve out yesterday. Wyoming, their leading scorer, concussion protocol, may or may not play. And you go, Boise State is only a 4.5-point favorite. I am sold. And that's the genesis of that play. Yeah, I liked the 49ers yesterday, but Boise State was the best bet. And as I said yesterday, I'm not into prostituting myself. It's about making money for you and for me, not about making sales. Now, today, my best bet happens to be back in the NFL. Another raise the bar 20-dime release. Normally, 15-dime selections are my best bets. I'm going for NFL winner number 11 out of 14. It's another raise the bar 20-dime release, number 6 out of 7 since last Sunday. And it's on your night game between the Bengals and the Ravens. Last Sunday, it was on the Bills, and it's another half-price play of the day release. And remember, guys, you can get my best bet and all the plays from all the handicappers if you haven't used the one-day all-access pass yet. What better time to do so? Because I'm telling you now, I just gave you a 2-0 sweep yesterday. You can get my best bet and all the plays from all the handicappers for free using the one-day all-access pass over at DeMarcosports.com. Yes, that's my last name, and just add the .com to it, DeMarcosports.com. The one-day all-access pass, regular price today is $109. You get my play, all the plays from all the handicappers, including Matt Rivers, by the way, who cashed in again yesterday with another 100-dime max wager release as he cashed in with the 49ers. Today, his top play is on the Bills Dolphins. All the plays for free, one-day all-access pass. Now, that Dolphins game against the Bills is going to be my free selection here. The other game on today's card, the Vikings and the Giants, damned if I know which way to go in that game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I really don't know which way to go with the side. I think a lot of the public is going to be backing the Giants because the Vikings seemingly play every single game down to the vest. I can see why the Giants plus the points the way to go. And let's face it, the Giants have certainly laid a few eggs this year. Think about the Cowboys game, think about the Packers game, and the Giants defense is certainly superior to Minnesota. Putting money on Kirk Cousins is certainly an iffy proposition if you think about it this year. I can see the over. I wouldn't even play the Giants and the Vikings in a teaser. And you know how much I love teasers, guys. If you watched the show that I did with Steve Budin and with Rick Torino on pro and college football this year, I wouldn't even touch that game in a two-teamer. So with that being said, let's take a look now at the Buffalo-Miami game. How can you not lay the points with Buffalo? You cannot be scared by prices when they're big in the NFL or in college football, that matter. Do not be scared with big prices. The odds makers aren't trying to tell you anything. Just look at the line and ask yourself this simple question. Did the Dolphins have a chance on the road with a third string quarterback in this game? And the answer is simply no, they don't. This is a Miami team, as I told you repeatedly when I did the show with Steve Budin this year on Sundays, that sucked on the road. When you look at their home road splits in terms of their defensive effort, this is a team, Miami, that played so much better at the home in terms of the points allowed per game versus on the road. Home games, they gave up only about 13 points a game defensively. On the road, actually, that went up as the season progressed. They gave up about 15 points a game because they collapsed down the stretch. On the road, they gave up over 30 points a game. And forget about what happened in the two regular season meetings, the ones that went right down to the wire. Remember the one in the heat and humidity back in week number 3, where Buffalo statistically had every single advantage, but Miami won. And forget about the one where the Bills had to rally at home in week number 15 to pull out the field goal victory. Forget about those two games because the Dolphins had their starting quarterback. If you are willing to put your money on Skylar Thompson in this game, God bless you. I'm not. And listen, I really love the Bills. The Bills were my best bet last weekend, if you recall, against New England, because I thought having that emotional lift, playing at home with Hamlin, having that amazing recovery, sending them the message from the hospital would propel them and give them that emotional lift. Well, now you see that reportedly, and I think it's more than reportedly because there's been so many sources that reported that he actually visited the team's training facility. What was it on Friday? How big is that? Playing at home, this is a team that if you look at the two box scores for those two games, they being the Bills, crushed Miami. Josh Allen, huge games in against that Miami defense. Matter of fact, 704 yards passing and 6 touchdowns, and he also ran for, I think, 125 yards in those two games as well. You have a Miami offense, once again, down to the third string quarterback. They were lucky to beat the Jets and Joe Flacco at home last week just to sneak into the playoffs, a team that had lost 5 straight games prior to holding off the Jets. Think about how bizarre that statement is. They had to hold off the Jets just to sneak into the playoffs. This is a Bills team that is peaking right now. Are they playing as well as they did when they started off the season, like on fire? No, not necessarily. But are they good enough to win this game? Yeah, I think they're good enough to win this game convincingly by at least 3 touchdowns. So laying 13.5 points, don't be scared. Just do it. Walk away with the win. That's the free selection for today. I wish you well, guys, and talk to you again tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, that Monday night game, that's going to be a tough one. Dallas and Tampa, but that's tomorrow's story. Good luck, everybody. And again, subscribe to the channel right there. No, actually, it's right down there. Subscribe to the channel there, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.